I'm doing my organic chemistry project on hair dye, which is in the industry of cosmetics. The first step shows the oxidation of p-phenethylamine to the qualidimine, which is C6H4NH2. The second step involves the attack on this qualidimine on the coupler. In organic chemistry, this reaction is called electrophilic aromatic substitution. In the third and final step, the product from the qualidimine coupler reaction oxidizes to the final hair dye. It was once believed that the dye forms in the above reaction bonds to hair permanently. It was later shown that the main reason why this reaction imparts a permanent color on the hair is because it produces a larger dye molecule which is locked inside the hair. These are couplers. Couplers are chemical compounds that define the color of the hair dye. Shown here are 3 red couplers, A, B, and C, 2 yellow-green couplers, D and E, and a blue coupler, F. The general ingredients in hair dye are the dye, initially in the form of a dye intermediate or precursor, the developer, generally hydrogen peroxide, a coupler which varies depending on the desired hair color, and an alkaline, usually ammonia. The ammonia acts as a deliverer to send the dye to the cortex of our hair, and as an alkaline, it makes the environment basic, allowing for the appropriate conditions for the necessary reactions to occur. The coupler varies in its composition, as it is the indicator on what the color outcome will be. These ingredients are stored as 2 separate groups. The ammonia and the dye components can be made up and stored together before the actual dyeing, but the hydrogen peroxide cannot. It is stored away and separate, and remains separate until right before the dye job is taking place. Once the mixture is added to hair, organic chemistry takes over. Quote from the source I used at Hub Pages on science behind hair coloring. Funny, isn't it? A dreaded subject even for science geeks, but without organic chemistry, Beyoncé wouldn't be blonde. Emma Stone would be without her signature red locks. And Nicki Minaj and Katy Perry would have a lot of free time on their hands. The initial ingredient is an amine, p-phenethylamine. For example, when this amine is put together with hydrogen peroxide, it is oxidated to a quion. Then this quion can interact with the coupler. Specifically, this interaction is an attack, electrophilic aromatic substitution attack. This reaction product of the quion and the coupler will also be oxidized by the hydrogen peroxide, and all this leads to the final dye. So, how do you know if the hair dye you use is actually organic or not? You don't. In the video that I'm about to show you, the guy will be talking about how some stores say that their hair dyes are organic just for good marketing prices and or names. And that's why you always need to check the back of your hair dye boxes.
Hi everybody, my name's Chad Demchuk and I'm the 2012 North American Hairstylist Awards Hair Colorist of the Year. Today we're going to be talking about organic hair dye versus peroxide hair dye. I want to define the both of them so this way we're all on the same page. Organic means of or containing carbon. So when you pair that with hair color, all hair color could technically be called organic hair color, but not all do. The reason why some companies call themselves organic is because they have different blends of animal proteins and different things that are found in nature inside their product. These companies actually have to have a high percentage of their ingredients to be natural or organic in order to actually give themselves that title. So the ones that do are great at what they do. Unfortunately, there's other companies out there that use the term organic as a marketing scheme. When I say marketing, people think the word organic and they think it's coming completely from the earth. When we think about hair color, there is always going to be some artificial hair color in there that is not derived from the nature that we know. When we think about hair colorants inside of those tubes of color, all of those different color molecules, the red, the yellow, and the blue, they're all coming from a giant vat inside a factory. So what that means is those are man-made and they are not from nature. So therefore, those are not organic themselves. But the rest of the ingredients, the conditioners and all the different things inside those color tubes are organic. So don't get confused when you hear the term organic. Sometimes when we think organic, we think of natural, such as henna. Henna is derived from the earth, and therefore that is completely all natural. Organic and all natural are not the same thing, so make sure you read the back of both boxes before you question which it is. Now, back to the topic at hand, organic hair dye versus peroxide hair dye. I think this is an interesting topic because did you know that all organic hair color and permanent hair color and demi-permanent hair color all require peroxide? It's not just one or the other. Peroxide is a good thing because it helps the oxidization process for hair color. So that's what gives us these robust colors in our long-lasting gray coverage. So when you're thinking about peroxide versus organic, peroxide needs to go with the organic to actually make it a color. So when you're researching that, just make sure you know what you're looking for. Again, my name's Chad Demchuk. I'm your 2012 North American Hairstylist Awards Hair Colorist of the Year, and this is organic hair dye versus peroxide hair dye.